Hello, salutations, what it do? It's Sadot the Gamer, off father durag gang, you know vibes like scrap. Let's get it. Welcome everyone to Super News Live. Happy Friday, Durag Nation. How's everyone feeling today? Happy Friday, happy Friday. We got a lot to talk about in the world of superheroes and entertainment as well. The actors strike is officially in effect, so we're going to break down how that is affecting everything. And we also got some Spider-Man 2 news to go over related to Comic-Con as well. And we'll talk a little Superman Legacy. There's also a new DC game, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Small Kid, welcome back, coming through already with the super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Hope you're having a great day. What's up, Mr. Harry, Mace? We got Dark Boy. We got Luis, Spider-Man, Whitley. We never actually confirmed which Spider-Man you are. Rep your universe, son. What's up, Cecile? King J, what up, what up? The strike does not affect Spider-Man 2. Well, we're going to talk about that because that's not entirely true. We vibing, yes sir. Luis, there were movies. Yeah, we already got some delays, Marvel related delays as well. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over all that. Universe 616, fair. I'm doing great, Small Kid. How are you? What's up, Kale? Steven, what up? What up? We got a lot to go over today. It's we knew it was coming. We knew the strike was going to happen. It is what it is. But so far, it's not terrible. It could be worse. It definitely could be worse. But it's just the beginning. Doesn't look like they're gonna solve anything anytime soon. So Comic-Con has already been affected. Some TV shows, movies that are upcoming have already been affected. So we're gonna break down everything. There are live updates about what's going on with the strike that we're gonna break down. And we'll talk about Spider-Man 2 at Comic-Con. Yep, we're gonna go over all of that. We actually do got some news from Insomniac related to Comic-Con and their panel. We're gonna go over that. What's up, Virgo? I'm good. It is afternoon for me. How you doing? What's up, Kid Finesse? Are your birthday next Monday? Hope you have a great birthday. There's going to be a Comic-Con, but the people who are physically going to Comic-Con are going to have a very different experience than what they paid for. I'll tell you that. That's tough. What's up, Spidey Edits? Did you see the invasion? I did. Well, I'm probably not going to. We'll see if we're going to do the after show today. Jay's on vacation, and casual might be eating deep dish. Birthday's August 4th. Nice, nice. Yeah, this isn't my first time dealing with this. Hollywood went on strike a while back. I think it was back in 2007. So Taladia, appreciate you hanging out. You in San Diego, you're going to go until you saw a strike. Yeah, if you're going to go, if you're like, the thing about Comic-Con is very difficult to get into. You got to like do this in advance. It's expensive. So when people first got their Comic-Con tickets, they were expecting a lot, and it's going to be very different. It's not going to. A lot of people are going to be missing. A lot of studios, a lot of stuff is going to be missing. So we're going to go over all that. Just wanted to give everyone a chance to come in, and we're going to get into the news because this is a pretty big deal. So, but make sure you smash that like button first and foremost. It's free, helps the channel out a lot. The more people who like the stream, the more YouTube will share it. So hook that up for me. So we're going to go over the writer strike first, and then we're going to talk about all the Spider-Man 2 related stuff, because it's getting crazy. We do have an actual direct update about the Spider-Man 2 panel from Insomniac. So first we're going to go over what's going on with Comic-Con. See, this is from TMZ. They posted this earlier. We're also going to have live updates, panels, celebs backing out as actors strike begins. San Diego Comic-Con, arguably the biggest pop culture fan event of the year, is already feeling the heat of the SAG-AFTRA strike because some of the hottest panels have already backed out. The West Coast's biggest convention has already seen a handful of cancellations. The Rookie pulled the plug on his scheduled signing event, and that 70 show is no longer hosting its anniversary panel. Certified freaks, 7 days a week. Small Kid 27, appreciate that $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. The West Coast biggest convention. We already knew beforehand. Netflix pulled out. Marvel basically pulled out of their MCU stuff, but that was before the actors strike was confirmed. Looks like Prime Video's Good Omen also had plans to do a panel and a signing, but instead they're going to pivot to holding an advanced screening for the fans of the new season. I'm actually looking forward to that one. It's a really good book. I recommend that. Show is solid too. They continue. There are loads of other panels and meet and greets set to go down when San Diego Comic-Con starts up next week, including shows like Abbott Elementary and What We Do in the Shadows. But time will tell if it all goes dark. Basically, one of the many rules junior actors have to follow involves staying away from conventions and fan expos. There's a high chance other actors will soon drop out. There are already talks studios pulling the plug before Thursday's strike call, with Marvel being a big name that already said it wouldn't hold its big presentation. So that's the general summary of it, but there's a lot more. There's a live coverage of exactly what's going on with Comic-Con, but just the overall picture with the strike is that basically the situation is, because the writers are already on strike, which was holding up some productions, because once the strike goes into effect for the writers, that's it. They're not working on any more projects. Now the actors are going on strike as well. Not only are they not able to work on projects, but they can't do press either. So that was the other big thing. So if they were, say, supposed to go to Comic-Con and do, signings or do a panel where they're promoting their show or their video game, for example, they would not be allowed to do that if the strike went into effect, which it has. So movies that were coming up that are getting their premieres, the actors can't promote those anymore, and that's going to continue until it resolves. There's a lot of disputes around money. Usually, that's what it's usually about. There's some pretty wild stories about what Hollywood is trying to do. I heard one report where the studios proposed this thing where an actor would get paid for 1 day of work, and they would scan them with AI, and then basically be able to use their likeness with AI in movies forever without ever paying them again, which is a wild thing to suggest to an actor. Like, hey, we'll pay you for 1 day, and then we'll capture your likeness and just use it forever. There was literally a Black Mirror episode that was similar. That was similar to that, where they would just like use artificial intelligence and stuff to just use an actor's likeness and just create content using them. Like, that's actually crazy that we're at this point already. What's up, Lockbeat? Mace. Appreciate you, man. Your family stayed up to go for the big trip to Comic-Con. Now there is nothing. There's going to be some, like, the panels are kind of screwed. I'm not going to hold you. Some of the, not all the panels are going to be canceled. Some of the panels will continue. They're just going to pivot, like with the example of the Good Omens panel. They had a whole thing planned, but they scrapped that, and instead they're going to do an advanced screening of the new season. There's still going to be, you know, merch and stuff if you're looking for some of that exclusive stuff. But yeah, the actors, they're not going to be, not going to be not going to be around. Are movies and shows only being affected? No, any video games would be affected too, because the voice actors are part of the union. So that would also prevent them from participating in work and press. It's not going to affect like a game's release. Well, unless the game was like still in development and they didn't do their voice work, but that's probably not going to affect anything because video games usually handle voice work pretty early on in the process, like super early. So usually if a game is particularly far in development, the voice work is already long done and they're not particularly worried about it. The issue would be if you were doing mocap, if you had a situation where the voice actor was also the face of the character. So they were actually doing acting as well as voice acting, that would hold things up. But yeah, any one part of that union is being affected. Jonah's Awful was the Black Mirror. Yep, Jonah's Awful with Selma Hayek. that was pretty wild. But they legitimately proposed that. Yeah, we'll pay you for a day, and then we'll scan you with AI and we'll use your likeness forever without paying you. So I think it was actually worse than Jonah's Awful. And also, there was also the story that made its rounds that apparently one of the writers on She-Hulk, the one who did the Daredevil episode where he first appeared, that actor apparently got paid $390 for their residual paycheck from Marvel for doing that episode, which is actually wild. I think Spider-Man 2 will be delayed. No, once a game is for sale, that's it. The game is coming out. Spider-Man 2 has long gone past the point of delay. It's already shipping. It's already gone on sale. The game is done and is being shipped. So if there's anything wrong with the game, then they'll obviously do patches, but we're past the point of no return. Spider-Man 2 is coming out on October 20th. That's a done deal. What's up now with Flo? The Black Panther game's coming out mid-2024. That's definitely not true. That's not at all true. The Black Panther game is in super early development. Thanks to Jeff Grubb, we have a timeline on that. He said 2025-ish for the Iron Man game. And he said the Black Panther game was earlier in development than even the Iron Man game. So we're talking 2026, 2027 for that Black Panther game. The only reason they did this wasn't a this game is coming soon announcement. This was a this game exists officially and we're hiring. Please help us with this project announcement. It wasn't a this game is coming out soon announcement. It was this game exists and we're currently hiring for help to get this game out the door. It is not coming out anytime soon. We're talking 2026, 2027 for that Black Panther game. 2025-ish for the Iron Man game. September, I don't know September 9th, but I know Mortal Kombat 1 comes out in September along with Starfield. Wolverine game does not have a release date or release window, but I'm expecting that to get an update either if PlayStation does a second showcase or maybe at the Game Awards. But according to Jeff Grubb's intel, Wolverine is targeting 2025. It could be there as early as 2024, but internally he said they're targeting 2025 for Wolverine. Looking forward to Superman Legacy and David Cornsweet. Same. We're going to talk about that as well because the casting so far has been really good. 99 days, yep, for Spider-Man. No need to spam, we know. So we got some more information on the writers strike. This one is Washington Post. They're basically doing live updates. And I saw this is going to be some bad news for some of you. Let me find it. I saw this earlier. I'm like, here it is. Looks like Deadpool 3 is getting delayed. I know there was a lot of Deadpool 3 hype because we got the set photos of Wolverine. They're finally giving him the yellow suit. Deadpool's looks great. There's some, going to be a lot of great cameos, but looks like Deadpool 3 officially getting delayed because of the strike. This is from the Washington Post. It might not meet its May 2024 premiere date, with production now halted as a result of the actors' strike, according to Variety. Film was initially using a pre-writer's strike script, according to Hollywood Reporter. So the good news for the Deadpool 3 movie is that they have the script already, just like James Gunn. He was smart enough to turn in the script for Superman Legacy before the writer's strike went into effect. So Deadpool 3 is good, at least for now, on the script. But because the actors are on strike, they can't film. They can't even film. They can't film now. Like they can't film anything. So because the actors just went on strike, Ryan Reynolds, no one can film. None of the actors can film. They can't do press. They can't promote their projects. They can't be in the project. So until the writer's strike gets resolved, they can't film, which means they are basically shutting down production because it's very expensive to run a production. So if the actors can't film, that means they're shutting it down until the strike is resolved. So most likely it looks like Deadpool 3 is getting delayed. We don't know how long the delay for Deadpool 3 is going to be, but until the strike is resolved, the actors can't film anything, and if they need something like rewritten for the script, they can't officially do it because the writers are on strike. So, Sub Dread, the striking basically comes down to money. That's pretty much what it is. That's what it's usually about. Appreciate you. Shout out to Brazil, but please don't spam. When do you think Wolverine from Insomniac? Yep, I just we addressed that earlier. I also have a video on Wolverine. Definitely check that out on the main channel. But Jeff Grubb said they're targeting 2025. Deeper Depths. Shout out to Deeper Depths. Definitely go support my man's channel. But yeah, it's usually about the money. So whenever there's a strike, it's usually about money. You know, there's going to be a lot of talk about workers' rights and everything like that. And there's some of that, but it usually just comes down to money at the end of the day. Like there's a lot of disagreements. Like, you know, one of the non-money related, it's even the non-money related thing is related to money. Like wanting to scan an actor's face with AI, wanting to scan an actor with AI and then use them in projects forever without paying them is crazy. That's definitely a rights issue, but that's also a money thing. Like, it's not like they were completely against the idea of doing it. Like, obviously some actors would be, but a lot of actors would probably be against that. But the fact that they're also not paying them anymore is wild. Like, yeah, no way you would do that. Let me get this straight. There are 2 different strikes or just one. It's turned into one big strike. Like, the unions are basically together. Like, there was talk there was hope that the actors wouldn't go on strike and they would work out a deal because the writers already went on strike. That was already a thing. But the actors couldn't work out anything either with the union and the studios. So now they're all on strike. They're separate, but they're all basically all in it together. And, you know, they're all part of this really big union, and they're standing against the studios as creatives. So the issue is that there's a lot of issues this time around. So you have AI now that's kind of messing things up because you have now the ability to kind of replace writers and to a degree actors. Like, the tech isn't fully there yet, but you know, the fact that they're even proposing scanning actors with AI means that we're getting close to a situation where they can use an actor without them physically being there. And they're at a point where they can theoretically just use Chat GPT or something like that to create scripts. And they're also already at a point where they're using AI to replace animation to a degree. Like, we already had Netflix create an actual anime using AI. It was trash, but as the technology improves, that's going to be another issue where it's like they're going to freeze out animators and replace them to a degree with AI. So AI is a big issue. The creatives are trying to set up so that they're not going to be replaced by AI, and also money. They don't feel like, the writers don't feel like they're getting paid what they're worth. Actors, same to a degree. And in the case of Marvel, that's definitely an issue. Marvel's always had this reputation of not paying their creatives either on time or well, sometimes at all. And with streaming, it's complicated a lot of things because no one's really transparent about exactly how much money people are making from streaming. Like, they don't really tell you what the numbers are. It's not like a traditional network television show or anything where they're running ads. So it's hard to like gather how much money these shows are making. We know they're putting a lot of money into it, and we know they're trying to convert people into subscribers, but it's unclear exactly how much money they're making on these shows and movies that come to streaming services. And writers and actors were like, well, you're spending all this money, all these millions of dollars on these shows and movies to pump up your streaming service. We want a cut of that. We want to get paid too. And the argument, obviously there's also been the issue where a lot of these studios are losing money because, a lot of people have been critical, the quality of the writing and the movies and stuff, particularly when it comes to Disney and Marvel and Star Wars, has definitely gone downhill, and it's caused a lot of studios to lose money. So their position is like, well, we know you want to get paid, but we're not making money off your projects anymore. Like, not even Marvel, which was basically dominating movies. They're not making money anymore. They've had like 4 flops in a row. Warner Brothers and Disney, and DC are even worse. We just had some massive flops just this year alone. We had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania lost money. Secret Invasion, one of the lowest rated shows on Disney Plus, which is a streaming platform that we know from the numbers has lost millions of subscribers and has lost Disney billions of dollars. You just had Indiana Jones, the 5, huge flop, lost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars. The Flash, flop for DC, that lost them hundreds of millions of dollars. It's their biggest flop in their company's history. And before that, they had the Shazam 2 flop and the Black Adam flop. So you have these studios that are losing money on some of their streaming platforms, and they're losing money at the box office. And then you got the actors and the writers that are like, well, you're spending all this money. We want to cut too. Like, that's all fine and good, but we need to make a living as well. So you even have the CEO of Amazon that's like now trying to evaluate where all the money is going. Like they want to check the budget and see what everyone is spending on, because a lot of these projects are also like super over budget and a result of mismanagement. Like Marvel is a classic example of that. That's one of the reasons Victoria Alonso was fired, because you have these Marvel projects where the reason why people are complaining about the CGI and the effects being bad is because they're coming here with no complete idea of what they're doing. Like they're coming and say, okay, this is what we're doing. We need you to do effects for this. And then they come back and say, actually, no, we need to get rid of that and do something completely different. So they're mismanaging the entire project. They're doing all these expensive rewrites and reshoots, and they're not giving the VFX artists time to even work, which results in a bunch of them being overworked and underpaid. And the work you saw suffered because of that, and now studios are like, well, we did a terrible job of managing our projects and hiring the right people, which resulted in us losing money. So we're going to make the writers and the actors suffer because of that. And they're like, well, no, we don't care about any of that. Like, that's your problem. We want to get paid. We want to get paid what we're worth. We don't want to get replaced by AI. So the two sides are going to be fighting for a while. You read yesterday, the cast of Oppenheimer walked out the premiere to join the strike. Yep. Mission Impossible. I mean, I think that movie's already out and I hear it's doing well, but that press tour is over. The actors can't promote that anymore. Oppenheimer, they can't promote that. Their cast are done. They can't promote that anymore. Secret Invasion needs all the promotion it could get, but the actors can't promote that anymore. Not that it would help, because that show's terrible. And it's already affecting Comic-Con. Some panels are getting canceled or changed around to accommodate that. It's affecting upcoming movies and shows. So let's see. Let me go through more of this. But yeah, the big thing for Marvel so far is that Deadpool 3 looks like is being delayed because of the production the production strike. See, looks like Broadway performances won't be affected so far. So if you're a Broadway fan, you're good to go. Looks like House of Dragons is going to keep filming because they're part of the UK union. Lucky them. Let's see, the Fox fall schedule is going to go to unscripted reality television. Holy. We already see a bunch of actors are supporting the protests and speaking out. Let's see. If history is any guide, writers and actors could strike into the fall or longer. Previous Hollywood strikes have lasted months, and the Writers Guild of America's 11,000 members had already been on strike since early May, before 160,000 members of the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, joined them this week. So, buckle up. This could be a while. All right, so that's what we got so far. That's the bad news. I appreciate you, Deeper Depths. So that's the bad news so far. The strike is happening. It's live. No more production for projects that are currently in production are on hold because the actors can't be in them. Comic-Con panels, some of them are pulling out, some of them are changing. So far, we do have some good news for Spider-Man 2 fans. We got this update from Aaron. Shout out to Aaron, community manager for Insomniac. So far, the Insomniac, as I expected, the Spider-Man 2 panel is not canceled. They're still going to have it. And Aaron, the community manager, confirmed that Insomniac's Twitter account will be live tweeting the panel for those that can't attend. So I know it was disappointing to learn that, it won't be live streamed, but Insomniac is going to be tweeting the entire time. So they so far have not canceled that panel. And since we won't be able to be there, we'll be able to follow along by looking at their Twitter account. So we're going to be doing that here live. We're going to be refreshing. Marvel.com is also going to be having live updates. Ryan Panagos is going to be live streaming Comic-Con. He's going to be doing his own Marvel panels, and he's going to be updating what's going on across Marvel's other panels. So between Marvel, Ryan Panagos, and Insomniac's official accounts, we should know what's going on during the Comic-Con panel for the Symbiotic Relationships, which is great. And if they do drop a trailer, that's going to be uploaded, so we should be good there. Your girlfriend wants to break up? Tough. But, I mean, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. There's always a next one. So the way the strike will probably affect the Spider-Man 2 panel is that the actors probably won't be there. Will this affect the game's release? No. Spider-Man 2 is already going on sale. That means it's coming out on October 20th. Once the game goes on sale, that's it. It's coming out. So next week is, as a reminder, San Diego Comic-Con for the Spider-Man 2 panel is next Thursday. Time is definitely flying. It's already Friday. So next Thursday at 5:30 Eastern is when the Symbiotic Relationships panel for Spider-Man 2 starts. And Insomniac will be live tweeting it, like I just went over. But Yuri Lowenthal Najee Jeter, Laura Bailey, Tony Todd, the main voice actors for the game, they were supposed to be part of that panel. And because of the strike, they're probably not going to be there. So they're going to have to alter what their plans were for the panel, because all those main actors are part of the union. So they're not going to be there. If they're represented, they're not supposed to, by the union, they're not supposed to be there. Yuri confirmed he would be there. Is Yuri not? I know Yuri's part of the union, a union. Is he part of? I'm pretty sure he's part of the American Union as well. Yuri said he would be 10. That doesn't mean he's going to be part of the panel. That's the thing. What did he? Let me actually just pull up the tweet, because there's a very big difference between Yuri saying he's going to be attending and Yuri saying he's going to be part of the panel. Those are completely different things in this context, because the actors are allowed to go to Comic-Con. They're encouraged not to, but they're allowed to go. They're not allowed to do press. So let me get the direct information from Yuri to see what he says. Yuri Streichenthal based. He just changed his name to Yuri Streichenthal. So not off to a great start for the Yuri's is going to be part of the panel. All right, let me see. All right, here's Yuri's official statement. He's going to be attending the Spider-Man 2 and the MK1 panel. But he is part of SAG and the WGA. But so he said their interactive video game contract is not part of the strike yet. I don't like that yet. I don't like that yet. but so far, Yuri is allowed to attend the panel. For now. So we'll keep an eye on that. That yet is a that yet is a I don't know about that yet, because this is the first day of the strike. They are part of the unions that are striking, but apparently so far Broadway is operating, and for now looks like the video game peeps are technically not banned from we'll keep an eye on that. we got to keep an eye on that. So Yuri said he'll be there, but based on the wording of this tweet, that could change. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Let me check Laura Bailey. She's part of the union too. She hasn't done an update yet. Let me see if Najee. See if Najee Jeter tweeted anything yet. Nothing yet. So far we only got an update from Yuri and Insomniac. So the panel, as expected, is not canceled, and Yuri for now is allowed to go, but that could change. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that. But for now, we should regardless, we're still going to get a panel. Yuri Stragathal is hilarious though. But for now, yes, Summer K. Fowler, yeah, your Laura Bailey's huge. She's huge in the industry. You already know Yuri striking them girls. Holy. So for now, regardless of what happens, there will be a Spider-Man 2 panel. There may or may not be some voice actors that can't attend, but there's definitely going to be a panel for Spider-Man 2, and Insomniac is definitely going to be presenting something, and they're going to be live tweeting it. But we'll keep an eye on the video game actor strike, because Yuri was like, I don't like how Yuri phrased that. But for now, video looks like the video game side of things are safe for now. Let me see. There's a Forbes article here. This is a good article from Forbes, breaking it down. All right. The strike specifically concerns any work performed under the union's TV and theatrical contracts, meaning actors can't work on any major films or scripted television, whether on network, cable, or streaming services, or promote any of their film or television projects that fall under those contracts. The theatrical TV contracts are separate from the network television code, which covers unscripted television on television or digital media. So talk shows, variety shows, reality competition shows, game shows, award shows, documentaries, unless they're being released theatrically, are still free to continue, as well as soap operas. Actors can also still work on commercials, including sponsored content from influencers, sound recordings, music videos, video games, corporate educational content, broadcast news, television, animation, audiobooks, according to official SAG guidance. Podcasts that operate under SAG contracts are also free to continue, as are micro-budget independent films and student films. Any producers who aren't part of the alliance, the group of SAG strike against, can apply for interim agreements that allow the projects to take place. They also have a separate basic cable agreements with specific channels that won't be affected by the strike. And we already saw the story. House of Dragons won't be affected because their people are part of the UK. Whereas Aqua, I think he's in school. No, is he in school? No, I think he's on summer break, so he's probably playing Fortnite. We're part of a group chat. Honestly, stupid to keep doing these in-person events anyway. Just go digital, like Jeff Keighley. I mean, even Jeff Keighley has in-person aspect to like Summer Game Fest, but there's definitely value in this in-person stuff. Like, I'm not going to knock it. Like, Comic-Cons, these kinds of great opportunities for a lot of people. Like, fans get to come and under ordinary circumstances. They can come, they can meet the actors and get to see exclusive stuff. There's merch and collectibles, and it's great for actors as well, because they make a lot of money. A lot in many cases, a lot of these actors make a ton of money. Sometimes most of their money off of these cons. Like if you're an actor who was in, a sci-fi or superhero show or movie or something, but you're not a big name actor, you were just in that thing, and you aren't getting a ton of work, you could always rely on cons because you go to Comic Cons, you go to all the different cons, you sign autographs, you take pictures, and you make a lot of money off that. So they rely on those in-person events happening to make their money. So I'm all for in-person stuff. I just wish Comic-Con, to a degree, updated with the times. Like, this is an increasingly digital age. So I understand wanting some stuff to be exclusive to the con, but to me, there's no reason why, for the people waiting at home, you can't just record these panels and just upload them later as a premiere. To me, that's like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, let the people who are there live enjoy it, but also give something for the people at home. Like, what's the harm? There's still experiences that people will have, but that they'll only have by being there in person. But the people at home should be able to experience some stuff too. How long do I think the strike will last? This sounds like it's going to go on for a while. The sides seem to be pretty far apart, and there's a lot of issues that they're going to be going over. So I could easily see this going through December. But we also got a little update on Superman Legacy, which so far is not being affected by the strike for the most part. James Gunn did the script for Superman Legacy, so he made sure he turned the script in before the writers went on strike. So he doesn't have to worry about that. He's good to go. And he did casting. He got his casting, the pretty much the most important roles out the way. We know David Cornsweet is Superman. Rachel Brosnahan is Lois. Hasn't cast Lex yet, but he just cast Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, and Green Lantern. They're gonna have Nathan Fillion coming as Green Lantern, and they just cast Metamorpho, another Justice League member. He's going to be played by Anthony Carrigan, Emmy Award winner. I believe he won for Barry. Barry, awesome show. Loved him in that. So I'm all for it. Great decision by James Gunn. The hero's primary power is that he can change his body to any element. Metamorpho has popped up in both the Justice League and Justice League Europe since he began appearing in DC Comics in 1965. Ironically, he first appeared in issue 57 of The Brave and the Bold, a comic of the same name as Andy Muschietti's upcoming Batman film following Bruce and Damian Wayne. I think this is good casting. W casting so far for Superman Legacy. I'm all about it. Now, Superman Legacy will be affected by the strike because even though they've got the major casting out of the way, they can't actually film anything until the actors aren't on strike anymore. But I don't think it's going to last that long. Like, I feel like this is definitely going to be a few months, but it's not going to be forever. Eventually everyone's going to have to get back to work because especially since a lot of these actors are living in California, a lot of these actors living in California. It's super expensive over there. They need money, so the studios are at an advantage here. The actors need money, and they have the threat of AI to give them more leverage than they would normally have. You know, the actors probably have more leverage here. The writers don't have nearly as much leverage as they used to. Now that we have AI, actors more so. I think they'll work out a deal. It shouldn't be an issue yet. The writers could go on for a while though. Metamorpho, aka the Element Man. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, obviously the really super big actors, you know, they don't have to worry about anything. You know, they got money, but that's not what you gotta worry about with these strike situations. It's the middleman. It's the everyman, the actors who aren't making $20 million a movie. Those actors, they don't have the luxury of not working for long periods of time. So eventually they gotta get back to work. So it's just a matter of how long they'll be able to hold out. But this situation is looking crazy. Day one's battle. Oh, you're the one that tagged me in the panel? Shout out to you. Yep, we covered that. We covered the general overview of the strike. Some Comic-Con panels have already been affected. Some studios are pulling out. But for now, the Spider-Man 2 panel should be completely fine. Yuri confirmed that for now, emphasis on for now, his contract allows him to participate in the Comic-Con panels. He's not allowed. He's supporting the strike, you know, in spirit and in profile name, but he'll still be there. We haven't got confirmation that I saw from anyone else, but Insomniac is doing the panel. They're live tweeting it, so I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna be streaming it on the channel, and we're gonna watch along. We're probably not gonna. We'll see when Insomniac tweets. I'm assuming they're going to tweet, you know, information as they're giving it. There's obviously stuff we're going to miss, but hopefully someone secretly records it like they usually do, and we get a little something. But yeah, we'll see. But if there's a new trailer or anything, they're definitely going to upload that, so I'm not worried about it. And with Insomniac committed to live tweeting it, we're going to be getting a ton of information during that panel, so definitely going to be worth covering it live. Cast Sadot as Cyborg. I don't know, after the last time Warner Brothers had a Cyborg, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to be involved. I don't want to be on screen with that terrible CGI yelling, saying "booyah." If I show up to read and I see "booyah" in the script, I'm out. We ain't doing that. They're gonna have me out there looking like an idiot, being racist to me on set. I ain't having it. This means internet content creators will get a boon in viewership. I mean, internet content creators would get a boon in viewership regardless. Even more so if there was actual live video coverage. You know, you saw the numbers on the PlayStation Showcase at Summer Game Fest. So yeah, either way, you know, it would help. It would help the content creators out. You disagree? AI would at least be smart enough to copy paste the hero's journey from previously popular franchise. Yeah. AI is going to be a big thing because I've been playing around with ChatGPT for a while, and I gotta tell you, some of the scripts for some of the movies and shows I've watched over the last year, I could easily come up with something better spending like an hour in ChatGPT. Like, ChatGPT has gotten a lot better, combined with the fact that writing in Hollywood has gotten a lot worse. so that's why I think the writer's strike is going to be kind of brutal, because the studios legitimately have that as a weapon that they can wield against the actors. Like, they don't have a lot of leverage here. I appreciate you, Stephanie. Go take care of that phone. Because they're like, okay, you want more money, but the projects that you're writing are losing us money. People are complaining about the quality of your work, and we have AI that we could use to basically replace a lot of what you do. So right now the studios are in a power position. That's why I think this is either going to last a while, or the union is going to cave and take a really bad deal. I don't really see an outcome other than, like, I feel like either way they're going to get a bad deal. I think either they're going to cave quickly and take a really bad deal, or they're going to drag this out for several months and then take a bad deal. Like, eventually, as long as the actors are with them, they should have that leverage if they stick together, because they still need the actors, and Hollywood is going to want to get that back to work, because they can't rely on unscripted reality TV. They got a lot of big budget movies in production and big budget shows they need to get out the door. So they're gonna want to make the deal with the actors. The writers, on the other hand, if it was just the writers, it'd be a problem, because the writers don't really have a lot of leverage here. With all the craziness involved in the actor strike and all, you don't see how anyone's going to recover this, let alone the entirety of TV and film industry. Things are definitely going to change, because AI is here to stay, and it's going to have a really big impact on everything. Like, we're already seeing, we knew as soon as it exploded that studios are going to, these big companies are going to figure out a way to screw over creatives with AI and get them out the door. Like, oh, wait a minute, you're telling me instead of paying this writer, $100K, $200K to do a script and pay them residuals, I could just pay $20 for a ChatGPT Plus account and just have the AI come up with a script? Are you telling me I can spend $30 on Midjourney and there's these text to video apps, and I can basically replace a whole staff of animators? Oh, you tell me I can scan an actor's face and likeness and just create them with CGI? Oh, so the technology is definitely going to make things tricky for creatives going forward, which sucks to see. Whatever happens is definitely going to have a big impact on entertainment going forward. Scott has the one. What's matters having a job so cushy you can strike and not lose your job? I mean, it's not cushy if you're not getting paid that much money. like if you're in a position, like, yeah, it's nice to have, in theory, it's nice to have a union backing you, making sure that you're getting guaranteed benefits. But if the union is losing you money, then it's a problem. Like think about it. Despite the fact that they have a union, you had the writer for She-Hulk get paid $390, and it's like as a residual for a show that had a budget of tens of millions of dollars. That's not great. And don't get me started on the voice actors in the anime industry. If you're who made the video on the top right, link is in the description. It's and on the main channel. It's on my playlist. Sadot, Sadot's my PC. I collected basically some PC mods and showcases. Put them in a playlist. It's little, makes a nice little background video, and it also puts a spotlight on some really talented people in the Spider-Man community. So definitely go check that out. Am I pro AI? Of course. It's not really a pro or anti-AI thing, because AI is already here. It's already here. It's already, people are already using it. You are already participating in AI. Like it's not a matter of that's like being against the internet. Like it's not a thing that you're in control of anymore, unless you just want to live in the woods off the grid. Like I don't like the idea of creatives getting replaced by big studios, especially if it affects the quality of the product. Like I'm thinking of the idea of people, like that's why there was such a big blowback against Secret Invasion for using AI for their intro. Like the intro is trash. Let me be clear. But also they use AI to do it. So it's like, I don't like the idea of studios trying to cut corners and be like, okay, we're going to try to make an anime and we're just not going to have animators. Like there's so many talented people where it's like, we're not going to, we're not anywhere near the point where you're going to do better than some of these top animators or top creators. So I definitely don't want these creators to lose their jobs. I definitely hope there's a way that they can still work and we can still use them. But at the end of the day, I know that the technology is there. It's not going to stop. But AI for other uses is perfectly fine. Like there are a lot of technologies now and apps that utilize AI that has nothing to do with it, with this whole actors worry about or writers worry about getting replaced. That's a whole separate thing. AI, there's some really great AI tools and use cases for AI that is going to and is already changing society for the better. But in terms of the creative industry specifically, I hope they figure out some kind of compromise or balance. Did I see Yuri posted? Yep. What's up, Phoenix? Shout out to Phoenix. We covered that. We covered Yuri confirming that he'll be at the panel, and we covered Aaron from Insomniac confirming that Insomniac is going to be live tweeting the panel. You're not for AI replacing actual writers. You're just not bad writers, not studios. Just want an excuse to not roll the dice. Yep. Yep. Regardless, yeah, there's obviously, we as consumers don't want bad writers, neither does the studios. But the studios are going to obfuscate that point because they don't care either way. They're always going to look to make a buck. Yes, you don't. It's an argument to be made that if a writer is bad, they shouldn't be rewarded. Because as we see, when you have a bad writer doing a show or a movie, that show or movie is going to turn fans away from the product and the brand, and is going to lose the studio money. So you don't want that. But you also understand that the studio, regardless, doesn't want to pay good writers either. They want to save as much money as possible while making as much money as possible. You know, Marvel is famous for this. DC, from everything I heard, is much better when it comes to treating the creatives. Like, they pay them well, particularly when it comes to residuals. But with Marvel, you hear all these horror stories about, you know, not just the VFX artists, but comic writers either not getting paid at all or getting paid, you know, an embarrassingly little amount of money, or their payments are super late. So these big companies are definitely looking to finesse. Don't get that twisted. I understand from the perspective of, well, we don't want to reward bad writers that are losing us money, but we know there needs to be protection, because we know all the writers aren't bad. We know there are a lot of great writers that just need opportunities, you know. So Hollywood, you know, if you don't want to lose money, hire good writers, but also pay them properly. Said Tony is not going to be at the panel. I know he's an actual actor. He's not just a voice actor. I didn't check his Twitter yet. I should check his Twitter because that man tweets all the time. Shout out to Tony Todd, the voice of Venom. Let's pull up Tony's Twitter. Shout out to Tony Todd. Hope to get him on the podcast. Also, thank you for the follow. Don't see anything yet. This man tweets a lot. He did a at SAG. Hold up. He just tweeted them. He tweeted them "F you" by CeeLo Green. Holy what? Why did he tweet them "F you"? What is happening? Why is Tony sending shots at SAG? All right, he just retweeted this. This is from DJ Billy the Kid, and Tony Todd retweeted this. I'm also affected by this. There are those who feel an actor going to Comic-Con is the same as crossing the picket line. Everyone needs to be 100% in support of the unions and put the hammer on Hollywood. People's livelihoods are at stake. And Tony Todd just retweeted. Marvelous Gamer, I stand with SAG-AFTRA and the WGA. Tony Todd retweeted. The strike is important. It has to do with actors receiving the residuals they deserve. They have to make $26,000 plus per year to cover their insurance. A lot of struggling actors depend on their residuals to cover that. Studios aren't being fair in payments. Yeah, we covered the example of the writer that did the Daredevil episode of She-Hulk. He got a residual payment of $390, which is crazy. My problem is I've had a panel, so I'm out. Stand in solidarity. Is that the tweet? I think that's Tony Todd saying he's not going to be there. Actors can go to the convention, but they really want to. So it looks like Tony Todd is not going to be on the panel. And there's going to be pressure now on other actors to boycott Comic-Con altogether to stand in solidarity, even the ones that are technically allowed to be there. Can you ask a question? That is what the chat is for. Go for it. Just don't ask anything weird. How long do I think the game is going to be? At least as long as the first one. Honestly, Marvel hiring bad writers was of their own doing, because even, like you said, they looked for writers who knew nothing about comics. Yep, that 100% true. These writers have been losing CEO's money. Look at Indiana Jones. Yep, but you also, the other thing you have to remember is, it's not just on writers when a movie is bad. A lot of that time, you really looked at the studio. Like, for example, the Snyderverse. There was pressure from the studio to rush into a Justice League movie instead of letting Zack Snyder slowly build up over the course of several movies like Marvel did. That's not on Zack Snyder. That's on the studio. And then there are issues where writers will want to do something, but the heads of the studio, the producers, they'll come and say, actually, we need this to happen. So it's not completely on the writers. At the end of the day, the studios they're doing a job. The studios, yeah, it sucks when you have a bad writer, but the studio knows they're a bad writer. It's not a surprise. So it's weird. It'd be weird to blame. Yeah, it sucks when you have these writers who are not very experienced, not very talented, and are more interested in pushing their political agenda than telling a good story. But at the end of the day, who put them in that position to work on that project? The studio, the producers. You hire these people to write to write your movies and your shows. Then the movies and shows are bad. And then you hold up your hands like, we can't do anything. We can't pay you money because we're losing money. It's like, well, yeah, because it's your fault. you hired the wrong people. You mismanaged the whole project so that the VFX team didn't have any time to even make the effects look good. It's your fault. It's not the writer's fault. You hired them. They need money. They applied for a job. You gave it to them. So what's the issue here? Take responsibility. But it looks like there's going to be pressure for people to support. I think this is going to pick up in the coming days. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Comic-Con because, Yuri confirmed. We'll see if he tweeted anything else. His last tweet was 15 hours ago confirming that even though he's changed his name to Yuri Strakenthal, he's not striking, at least for now. Yeah, this is the last tweet he made, confirming that even though spiritually he supports the strike, contractually he's not required to skip Comic-Con for now. So Yuri is going to be at the panel for Spider-Man 2 and Mortal Kombat 1. We'll see if that changes, because we're already seeing actors and writers putting pressure on everybody to boycott the Comic-Con panel and treat it like a picket line, basically. So even if you're allowed to be at Comic-Con as an actor, they're encouraging you not to. So we haven't got confirmation from Najee Jeter or Laura Bailey, who are also supposed to be on the Spider-Man 2 panel. But Tony Todd straight up said he's not going to the panel. He's standing in solidarity with the actors and writers that are on strike. So Tony Todd's not going to be there, which sucks, because I was looking forward to Tony spitting. You know, Tony, he's always saying something he's not supposed to. Some of the biggest leaks for Spider-Man 2 came from Tony Todd because he loves to talk. I was definitely looking forward to him saying something he shouldn't, but looks like so far it's Yuri, and we haven't got confirmation from anyone else. But Yuri will be on the panel. Tony Todd is skipping it because of the strike for now. But Insomniac is still going to have the panel regardless, and they're going to be live tweeting it. So, and all of this could definitely change. I will for sure keep you posted on all the developments, because this is definitely going to be developing. There's definitely going to be some changes. Do I have a donation link? I do. It's in the pinned comment and the top link of the description. If you want to donate directly to the channel, all support is appreciated, whether you're liking, sharing, subscribing. If you want to drop a super chat, that's great. If you want to donate directly, so YouTube doesn't take any of the money, you can donate directly. Top link, the pinned comment, top link in the description of the stream. You could also type !donate in the chat, and it'll pop right up. And Nightbot will give you a periodic reminder. You like Bruce Wayne? I like Bruce Wayne too. He's a cool guy. My favorite Batman, actual Batman, is Pattinson. I thought Pattinson was the best pure Batman in terms of performance and design. I thought Christian Bale was, I think, the best Bruce Wayne. I thought Ben Affleck was probably the best overall at both being Batman and Bruce Wayne, along with Keaton. But I hated the Batman costume in the Snyderverse. It was decent in Batman v Superman, but the Flash, oh my God, one of the worst suits I've ever seen. It was awful. That design was absolute dog water. I'm glad it was only in in the screen for like a few minutes. It's like Jesus. Who greenlit this? but I really like Robert Pattinson's Batman. Not really good for Bruce Wayne. We didn't really get to see Bruce Wayne. He kind of just pretty much played Batman. Like it was basically early days. He hadn't learned to strike that balance between Batman and Bruce. He kind of, which was cool. It worked for the story because this is Batman, basically Batman year 2. He's consumed by this obsession now to stop crime by violently beating criminals. He's not adept at living that dual social life. But Pattinson's more than capable of it. He's a great actor. So I know he could easily play a really good Bruce Wayne. It's just the script and the direction didn't call for him to do so. Will be Marvel Spider-Man 3 wish list villains and heroes in the future? Is that a question? How do you go from Batman v Superman to the Flash? I have no idea. And the thing is, they could have literally just copied it, and it would have been fine. I don't know what they were thinking. Christian Bale's Batman, you hated it. This man was getting chucked by his own mask. Yeah, I love the Dark Knight and Batman Begins, but it doesn't age well. Like his performance, like as Batman, like the suit, the effects, the way he looks in combat doesn't age very well. The movie is great in terms of writing and everything, but it definitely aged well. And that voice, oh no, that meme worthy voice, probably the worst Batman voice. Where's the trigger? Where's she? Where's the trigger? Where's she? I'm Batman. Where is it? Where's she? Where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? Where's she? Tell me. It was so cringe. I was rewatching that a while ago. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't take it seriously. I just couldn't stop laughing at how bad his Batman voice was. I'm just sitting there and picturing them on set recording, and no one just having the heart to tell Christian Bale how cringe that voice is because they don't want it to get yelled at. I would not be able to keep it. They would have to kick me out of the room if they were filming, because I would be laughing the whole time, especially during that interrogation scene. Where's it? Where's the trigger? Where is she? Where's the trigger? Like, bro, whose man's is this? I thought Robert Pattinson had a perfect Batman voice. He perfect. Didn't do too much. Quiet, menacing. Doesn't go over the top with it. They didn't have to go crazy with the effects. Just calm, just chill. Perfect Batman voice. Christian Bale as Gore or Batman. Oof, that's tough. Nah, I say Batman, because Gore was they completely ironically butchered Gore the God Butcher. Bale's a really good Bruce Wayne. It was just his Batman that had an issue, and it was mainly when he tried to do the voice. But Gore, that whole movie was a disaster. They completely, like, if you could have made the Batman a lot better just by making him change the voice. There was nothing redeemable about the Gore performance, because he's a great actor. He did what he was contractually obligated to do, but the direction, everything was just wrong. That's not Gore. That's not how he's supposed to be. I don't put that on Bale, but Yeah, hands down, his Batman was a lot more tolerable than his Gore. Birthday is next week for Comic-Con. Hope you have a happy birthday. Unfortunately, your birthday in Comic-Con is coming during the strike, but fortunately you'll get Spider-Man 2 at that Comic-Con panel, so should be good. You wish Joker would ask him, does he need to clear his throat? Facts, bro. I got I got to rewatch Batman Begins. I pretty much only watched The Dark Knight for the Heath Ledger Joker performance, but I haven't watched Batman Begins in a while. I need to see if that ages well, because I don't remember him being nearly as cringe in Batman Begins. Oh yeah, speaking of DC, we got a new DC game coming, chat. I saw this yesterday. Unfortunately, it's a mobile game. But it could be interesting. It's called DC Dark Legion. It's prominently featuring the Batman Who Laughs, which already is super interesting to me. It is a mobile game, but not a lot of information about it so far. I, for one, am welcoming it, though, because for too long, Marvel has basically been dominating the video game market. So I'm definitely glad that DC seems to be putting more of an emphasis on their video game division. Because DC definitely my personal favorite, and they have a lot of great characters, a lot of great games they can make. So I'm hoping this is, part of a sign of they're going to start doing a lot more video games, both mobile and on console. Who knows? This one might actually be good. But when it comes to mobile games, I'm always super skeptical. But we'll see. Your birthday is on Tuesday, Reggie Miller year. Nice. Hope you could get us first person mode in Spider-Man 2. I'm sure a mod will handle that. When am I going to continue the DLCs for Spider-Man? That is going to be tomorrow. Just imagine Craven doing the Rick Roll dance. Game is such a cool concept. Shame it's a mobile game. Yeah. Now, obviously, the best case scenario is that it's going to be like a Genshin type of mobile game, where it's like a really good third person action game that can be ported over to console. But we'll see. That would be the ideal thing. That begins. He sounds like he had gauze in his mouth, like guys wisdom teeth pull. So they should make a Peacemaker game. I don't know about a Peacemaker game. It's interesting that he's gotten more popular, and I think he'll end up being in Mortal Kombat. But we got to see how. I don't know if there'd be a lot of demand overall for a Peacemaker game. Out of all the DC characters they could make a game for, I'd be pretty disappointed if they chose Peacemaker. Like, there's so many better characters, in my opinion. They could make a DC game for. I mean, we're long overdue for a Superman game. We still need a Flash game. You know, before Peacemaker, I'd rather see a Constantine game, uh, a a Deathstroke game. If we were going that route, if we're going grounded, I'd rather have a Deathstroke game than a Peacemaker game. You know, actual Justice League game, a Justice League Dark game, a Green Arrow game, a Green Lantern game, a Lobo game. Like, there's so many characters I like to play as before getting to Peacemaker. Hope we get a romance scene with Symbiote Peter and Black Hat. Fingers crossed. What's up, Starvel? How you feeling? Thanks to James Gunn, Peacemaker's lack of a character. But sure, I still wouldn't want to play as him in his own video game. Look at the demand for Suicide Squad. Well, people are rethinking that, as we saw at the state of play from all those ratios. I'm for one looking forward to it. Hey, Constantine fighting demons would be dope. That's what I'm saying. Like, DC has so many great characters they can build games around. Mary Jane game. Just me a Blue Beetle give you Iron Man 1 vibes. I mean, they're definitely trying to do that. You know, but it's not going to be anything like Iron Man in terms of actual execution, because it's a very different story. You know, just looking at it from the trailer, Iron Man. I mean, the only real difference is that they both have super suits, but you know, Iron Man was a story of this, you know, billionaire who makes money largely from the sale of weapons, who nearly gets killed by his own products, who then creates a super suit to get himself out of trouble, and then vows to turn his life around and use his technology for good. Whereas Blue Beetle is the story of some kid who is just pretty unremarkable, and then he just accidentally gets handed an alien super suit, and now he's being chased by the corporation that originally owned it, and is an unreluctant hero. What's up, One Take? Any news on Suicide Squad? Not at all. Still 2024 for now. Need another Captain America game? In addition to the one we're already getting? I think that'd be kind of OD. Like, we already got a solo Black Panther game, and then we have a game where you're playing as both Black Panther and Captain America at the same during World War II. It'd be crazy if they announced also we're doing a solo Captain America game. So it's a solo that would be a solo Captain America game, a solo Black Panther game, and a Black Panther and Captain America team up game. That's excessive. We don't need that much, and we're pretty far away from that third Marvel game, to the point where they haven't even decided which character they're going to build around. So I don't think they would, at least EA, I don't think they would do Captain America. I think they should do Hulk or Thor. Or Doctor Strange. Personally, I want Doctor Strange. But open world Thor game in Unreal Engine 5, or the Hulk game like I outlined in my video, definitely check that out. Perfect game pitches. would be sick in Unreal 5. But Doctor Strange, I want a proper Doctor Strange game. We've had teases of what it'd be like to play as Doctor Strange. Like we have games that are like Doctor Strange adjacent, kind of give you some kind of feel for it. Like the new game coming out, Immortals of Avion, is like Doctor Strange-esque with, but it's, first person magic stuff. We got kind of got a Doctor Strange feel with we got a 2 coming through from HPPC. Appreciate that too. Great stream. How you doing? I appreciate you. Been a little bit. A Deadpool game. See, the reason why I don't want a Deadpool game is because I know they're not going to do it right. I just know it. Like, if you look at the old Deadpool game, it was perfect. It was perfect Deadpool. And just looking at that game, no Western studio would make that today, unfortunately. Because a lot of these Western studios are adjusting for a modern audience. And they would definitely not be getting away with a Deadpool game like what they did with the last one. So I feel like, and for Deadpool, I think you gotta be really good with Deadpool, because it's very easy to make Deadpool cringe instead of funny. So you really gotta be careful with that. I do not want Saints Row Deadpool. Please. I'd rather not have it at all. So if you look at the timeline of the announcements, they announced the Iron Man game last year. And now Jeff Grubb said that they were pretty close together in development, but Iron Man was ahead of Black Panther. So that timeline now makes sense. So they announced Iron Man first last year, along with the deal. Then they announced Black Panther this year. So based on what Grubb said about the third game, it's so early in development that we're probably not going to hear anything about it until 2024. What's up, Bernardo? Because so far, Grubb doesn't even know. Said they haven't even picked the hero yet. So it sounds like we're definitely not hearing about that this year. They should see if they made it. It wouldn't just, if they did a remake, they would change it. Like, nah, just leave it. They just leave it alone. It's a classic. Just leave it alone. Well, unless a Western studio. Now, if a Western studio, I mean, if an Eastern studio wants to do it, for sure, go crazy. But if it's a Western studio doing a Deadpool game, I don't want any part of it. An Eastern studio, go crazy. I'm all with it. Lejeune, yeah, I saw Lejeune play it on stream. It was awesome. Definitely. I'd rather them go for a game that they're not going to mess up badly. So for EA, the Iron Man, from what I've seen for an Iron Man game, looks great. So do Thor or Hawk. It's hard to mess those up, especially if you're building an Unreal 5. Do Thor, do Hawk, do Doctor Strange. Do one of those. I have no idea when they're going to announce that third Marvel game, but if it's as early in production as Jeff Grubb said, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't announce it until 2025. Appreciate the 2 again. If you had Spider-Man on PC, what mods would you get? I would obviously get the symbiote. I basically get all the Marvel Spider-Man 2 mods. They got the authentic symbiote combat mods along with the actual ability wheel. They got the new advanced suit. Gotta have that. Gotta have Spider-Gwen. The improved swinging. And I definitely get some Black Cat mods for the culture. But yeah, you definitely need I definitely would want a Doctor Strange game. Because I've been playing a couple of games with magic in them, and it just makes me want more and more. Like Ghostwire Tokyo, Control. Just imagining some of that, Mortals of Avian. Imagine taking elements of that and make it into a Doctor Strange game. That'd be insane. Like the stuff you can do, the set pieces. Oh man, a Venom game. Appreciate you, Blazing Flame. When do you think we'll get a trailer for the Iron Man game? Probably next year or 2025. No, if it's coming out in 2025, maybe. Based on Grubb's timeline, it could be 2026 as well. Like it started semi early last year. It's a single player game. If they're planning on releasing it in 2025, appreciate the 2 HP. There's some Doctor Strange stuff on Roblox. Yeah, someone also made an Unreal demo of Doctor Strange that was really cool too. They made it based on the MCU one. It was a pretty cool demo. But if they're targeting 2025 for Iron Man, then I wouldn't be surprised to see a trailer at this year's Game Awards. Just to give that release window. Or they'll wait till next year. But it depends on their timeline. We know the thing about EA is that we know they've got they're very committed to getting games out quickly. Unfortunately, in the case of Jedi Survivor, that also meant that it was going to be, a little bit rough at launch. But Jedi Survivor was a pretty big game. And they were still doing it with the residuals of the pandemic. And they still got that out within 3 years. So I could definitely see them with their system of getting games out quickly, which seems to be their focus. I can see Iron Man getting out in 2025, in which case it would be reasonable to expect to see maybe a trailer this year or next year. Do I want Bully Maguire's suit in Spider-Man 2? I want all Tobey Maguire stuff to be kept out of Spider-Man 2 as a troll. Soundmag just tweeted, see you at Comic-Con. They confirmed about we covered that earlier in the stream. Imagine an Avengers game from Insomniac. It would depend. Because obviously it would be a great game, but I wouldn't want, like, there were a lot of people who said they wanted a single player Avengers game, and I don't think that would be as good. I don't think that's how you should make an Avengers game or a Justice League game. I don't think it should just be a single player experience. Avengers' problem wasn't that it went multiplayer. The problem was that it was mismanaged from the start. They didn't have a clear vision from the beginning. They didn't have the right studio working on the project. They didn't use the right engine. You know, they just did all the basic stuff wrong. But conceptually, it was correct. At least in terms of making an Avengers game that's single player and multiplayer. Even the live service thing wasn't bad. The looter shooter elements, definitely not necessary. They were trying a little too hard to copy off Destiny there. But the idea of a multiplayer Avengers game with a evolving story that's told over the course of post-launch updates, that's a great idea. And it could have been one of the best, it could have been the best superhero game ever if it was done right. God of War style Thor game would be awesome. 100%. In fact, even just get Vince Napoli, who worked on Avengers, and he did the combat for God of War as well. He's the combat supervisor for Avengers. Get Vince. If you're doing a solo Thor game, hire Vince to oversee the combat. he'll cook us something nice for Thor. I appreciate the 2 coming through again, HP. What do you think about Spider-Man 2 being co-op? When Insomniac confirmed that the game would not be co-op, I know there was some disappointment, especially since the type of game it is, with the, Miles Morales and Peter basically, being 50-50 with the character switching and free roam. It lends itself to multiplayer, but I'm personally not bothered. I'm not particularly bothered by it. Insomniac, likes single player. That's their lane. That's what they do best. They're obviously capable of multiplayer, but I'm fine with them deciding to, stick to what they do best. But a Spider-Man game, an open world Spider-Man game where there's co-op would be cool. Or at least as I pitched this a while ago because we talked about this stuff for a while back when we were speculating about the potential multiplayer. If they just did like a Ghost of Tsushima style update where they had a separate game mode, like a Spider-Verse mode or something like that, where you can free roam in the open world with multiple spider people and do specific content and missions specifically built for that expansion, that would be a lot of fun. Because we saw with Gotham Knights, it's very much doable. Like Gotham Knights did that part well. The idea of you patrolling a big open world city, crime pops up, you're just running around with one character and then somebody just joins into your session while you're fighting and, helps you out. Like in a Spider-Man game, that would be a lot of fun. I hope they explore something like that one day. Thanks again for the 2. My God. Wish they had DLC that's based on co-op. Yep, that's exact. Yep, exactly. Like I felt like Ghost of Tsushima did that the best. Because you gave everyone that single player open world experience, but then you also were able to add this whole separate mode just for people who really love co-op and live and looter type of stuff and multiplayer. I think they did that perfectly. What's up, Cookie? You need some help with your YouTube. Do you think that's possible for Insomniac to do with Spider-Man 2, or do you think it's definitely possible, but I don't know how committed they are to it? Because that would be because I don't know if they already have plans, and that would definitely be a big commitment. And we know that they're a pretty big studio, but we know they're also working on Wolverine. So I don't think they would be up for going like semi live service like Ghost of Tsushima did by maintaining a actual multiplayer game and doing updates for it. I think they would rather just kind of do standalone standalone DLC like they did before, and like have the flexibility to just move on to another game. Maybe they're building up to it, but it seems like after Spider-Man 2, I mean, they've said as much. They're basically just focused on Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine right now. Definitely think Spider-Gwen's coming and will be playable. Yeah, Spider-Gwen, I would not be surprised to see Gwen Stacy get introduced in this game, for sure. One reason why you don't believe Venom. I just don't know if there's really, I just don't see the demand for a Venom game. Like, I know a lot of people want Venom, but Insomniac specifically, like, I'm not seeing why they would make a Venom game by himself. Like, it feels like it would make sense to make it like a DLC if they wanted to go that route, but build an entire game on Venom. Like, I'm not seeing them doing that. But yeah, they've already confirmed that after Spider-Man 2, they're going all hands on Wolverine. Because as much as people like Venom, after Spider-Man 2, they're going to want Spider-Man 3. So it's like, okay, are we going to do a Venom spin-off game, or are we going to do Wolverine and Spider-Man 3? And whatever else they're planning. It's just a matter of priorities. They might be planning on making a different Marvel game with a different Marvel character. They might be planning on doing their own Avengers game. But we know for sure they're going straight to Wolverine after this. And they were hiring, yeah, they are. That's true, Steven. They have been hiring for a multiplayer game. And from what I saw from the job posting, it didn't sound like it was a licensed game. It sounded like it was original IP. HP with the 5. Love the stream so far, but gotta go and keep up the great content. I appreciate you, my friend. Hope to see you next time. I'll be streaming the DLC tomorrow for Spider-Man Remastered. What I notice is very unique about Insomniac's universe is that Glenn, Miles, and Peter all become Spider people in the same universe. Pretty cool, different take on Spider-Man for sure. Do you think we'll fight Hawk? I covered this in my video, actually. Definitely check that out, everyone, if you haven't already. Covering some of the Easter egg in Marvel's Wolverine. But in the trailer, they have an Easter egg that directly references a comic book run where Wolverine and Hawk fought each other. There's a license plate behind the bar that says HLK 182, which is an issue of an Incredible Hulk story where there's this immortal monster called the Wendigo that both Wolverine and Hulk are hunting, and Wolverine and Hulk end up fighting each other throughout that comic. So very interesting that they put that in the trailer, because it makes it sound like that they're setting something up, because that's a weirdly specific reference to have in a Wolverine game. You know, we don't know much about, we don't really know anything about what their plans for villains or anything like that, but that's the most direct hint we have. But apart from the Princess Bar and the scene they recreated, I break this down, but in my video, but that scene from in the bar where he beats everyone up, that could in the comics he did that to these enforcers that work for this crime lord named Roche, so they might be teasing that Roche or that something like that. And Madripoor is going to be what they're exploring. Definitely looks like the game will primarily take place in Madripoor. But with that Hawk Easter egg, it sounds like Hawk could show up and have an encounter with Wolverine. That'd be crazy. What's up, Ronnie? Yeah, multiplayer Spider-Man would be awesome for sure. Yeah, Wolverine's gonna be crazy. Gets his arms ripped off. Well, if I'm controlling Wolverine, I'm not going to go out like that. But yeah, in that comic run, Hawk does beat Wolverine's ass. Unfortunately, as you expect, when Wolverine and Hawk tend to fight, it tends to result in Wolverine getting knocked out. in the best of circumstances. So yeah, Hawk is him. So about that trip to Bora Bora, what about it? Technically, they already are making a Venom like game with Wolverine because both characters fight animalistic. Well, no, you can say technically you're already going to be controlling Venom to some degree, and Spider-Man too. Like Wolverine and Venom are completely different characters, but in Spider-Man 2, you're controlling Peter with the symbiote. So you're basically already controlling Venom. He just doesn't have the monster transformation, but he's got the symbiote. He's using the symbiote powers with the tentacles and everything like that. So you're kind of already playing Venom. You're just not biting people in half, You're so good. Appreciate you, Cookie. For Comic-Con, the prices are so high. Yeah, imagine paying all that money to go to Comic-Con and you find out that the actors are on strike. So a bunch of the panels are getting canceled. Hey, you're going to miss out on a lot of potential stuff. That's crazy. Am I playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 Ultimate for... I don't even know they're going to have an Ultimate. Like, in the past, they lock Ultimate behind New Game Plus. But whatever the highest difficulty is for Spider-Man 2, I'll start the game on that for sure. Hope we get the Hugh Jackman yellow suit. Oh, they got to. I don't know about the Hugh Jackman yellow suit, but I think Insomniac is definitely going to do the comic accurate yellow suit. Do you want to hype for Deadpool 3? A lot of people, but unfortunately, that looks like it's getting delayed because of the actor strike. Think they might introduce co-op in Spider-Man 3? Well, if they introduce Gwen Stacy and you get 3 Spider people, then I can see that. Just keep doing what you do. I will. In Spider-Man 2, you're basically controlling a weaker and less aggressive Venom. Yeah, pretty much. And then if Peter does turn into Venom, then there you go. Playable Venom. Maybe that's what they're planning. Think you're going to... Yeah, we'll see. I'll see if I can get some information out of Insomniac about the difficulty settings, but yeah, we'll see what their highest difficulty setting is when the game hits. So I think Deadpool 3 is going to be censored. From what I could tell, it's R-rated, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, there's a yeah, with all the demand for co-op, they're for Spider-Man 3, they very well might do it. They were very much committed to not doing co-op in Spider-Man 2, but they kind of set the game up to be a co-op game by having you be basically, 50-50 Miles and Peter. I mean, it's basically a co-op game without actual co-op. You can switch freely between Peter and Miles. You have missions that are just Peter, you have missions that are just Miles, you have missions that are Miles and Peter. It's a very big open world with constant randomly generated crimes. It's the perfect sandbox for a co-op game. It just happens to be single player. So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to eventually turn that into a co-op experience. They pulled off the playable Venom and Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. We know they can. It's not a question of can they do it. We still don't know how they're going to play this out. Like, they could, if Peter becomes Venom, they may have levels where you're playing as Peter, but as Venom. Depends on how they do the story. We just don't know yet. I have no idea about mission replay because I don't even think, outside of like replaying like your demon hideout stuff and challenges, I'm thinking that Insomniac is going to do the same formula that they've been doing for all their other games. You finish the main story, you unlock a new difficulty, you do New Game Plus, and maybe like Miles Morales, you maybe get some extra abilities or something. We'll see. I hope they add some more bonuses to New Game Plus. But yeah, they're obviously going to have New Game Plus, but I hope they have a couple more bonuses. Part of the reason I immediately went to Miles Morales and did New Game Plus is because the game was so short. But I was also looking forward to playing as it and getting some extra bonuses. So if they could add a few more things to New Game Plus for Spider-Man 2, that'd be great. I don't think he's going to do the dance of Spider-Man 2, but I hope he does the shocker thing. You don't think you're right about what? You could do mission replays in Miles Morales. You doubt Peter will be Venom because of the concept art they showed. You doubt Peter will be Venom. That's the thing. You're too caught up in the concept art. It's just concept art of one scene from one part of the game. And we already have a reveal trailer that shows a completely different Venom than the one in the concept art. Because remember, the one in the reveal trailer doesn't have the white spider. The one in the concept art does. And the reason why Venom gets the white spider is because of his connection with Peter. Which means that Venom in the concept art became Venom after Peter gave up the symbiote. So they very well could have Peter be Venom, lose the symbiote suit, and then it passes on to someone else who then becomes Venom with the white spider. They have no reason to make us wait for New Game Plus. They already established New Game Plus with Miles Morales. They have no reason to wait. Like, Spider-Man 2018 was their first game. Like, we are basically expect Miles Morales, but better. Everything they did in Miles Morales, expect that, but better. Miles Morales was them looking at feedback that they got from 2018. They had a couple years worth of feedback. You know, they even adjusted during the launch of Spider-Man 2018. So they made different adjustments. They made adjustments to the game. They made adjustments to the web swinging. So they took that feedback to make Miles Morales an improvement over Spider-Man 2018. So they're going to take the feedback that they already did, plus new feedback that they got for Miles Morales, and they're going to apply that to Spider-Man 2. You understand why people are upset about not being Venom when we're getting the black Spider-Man suit, the amazing combat. I mean, people want what they want. They're, you know, it's kind of tradition for Spider-Man fans to be mad about something. You know, as soon as they saw Venom, they got excited and were like, oh, I want to be Venom, you know. But when they actually get the game, you know how this works. They're going to get lost in the game and they're going to be fine. Imagine if you beating up people and you lock a special ability to become Venom. Think Venom missions will function like the Mary Jane missions? You think the challenges that were left around the city in the first game? It depends on how they do it. Appreciate the sub cookie. Venom has a lot of big fans, even bigger than Spider-Man fans. As Brian Hintar himself said. I don't think that's true. I think Spider-Man is overwhelmingly more famous than Venom. You don't know anything. We just gotta wait to play the game. What are you talking about? We're just having a casual discussion about stuff that we do know will be in the game and stuff that is reasonably expected to be in the game. If you're one of those people that for some reason, there are definitely some people who are, I occasionally get comments where it's like these people don't want you to talk about the game at all. They're just like, don't talk about it at all. Just wait till you play it. I was like, well, if that's how you feel, you're in the wrong place. Like, a lot of people enjoy talking about games before they come out. They like to speculate. They like to give their theories. They like to analyze the information we got so far. That's the majority of people. If you don't like that, by all means, go elsewhere. But yeah, we're definitely that type of channel. We're gonna talk about the game. We're gonna speculate. We're gonna give our opinions. We're gonna give theories. Number MJ missions. I think we're definitely gonna get an MJ mission. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think it's gonna be as crazy as it was in 2018, but I would be very surprised if we don't get at least one MJ mission, especially after reading the comic book that is the prequel for the game. Because there was even a mission in the comic book where MJ went along, a couple missions actually, where MJ went along with Miles and Peter. So I just know Insomniac is going to have at least one mission like that where you're controlling both Miles, Peter, and there's MJ. What games do you think Insomniac could make? They could make it. I mean, they could make anything. They're Insomniac. And Marvel seemed to, based on how the story went, Marvel basically told Insomniac, hey, who do you want to build a game for? Pick a character. And they're like, all right, we'll take Spider-Man. And the rest is history. And then they took Wolverine. Based on their wheelhouse, they would obviously do a really good Daredevil game based on what they've established with Spider-Man so far. But I fully believe in Insomniac's capabilities. They seem to favor street level heroes. So I'm guessing that's kind of the direction they're going to go in for now. And I heard that Marvel was looking to license out Daredevil. So that's always a thing. Appreciate you, Cookie. We'll most likely Gwen mission. I could definitely see a Gwen mission. They've also established a story to a point where they can introduce Gwen Stacy. They've got it all set up. Like to have a Fantastic Four game. That's what we thought the Skydance Media game was going. We swore that was going to be the Skydance Media game. That's why the Black Panther and Captain America Civil War game was such a surprise. Because it's like a ensemble game with 4 characters. I was like, it's got to be Fantastic Four, right? But it ended up just being Captain America, Black Panther, a regular human soldier, and a Dora Milaje. It was a weird choice. Where did I find that thumbnail? I made it myself. Hope they are building a game universe for Marvel. It seems like they are. There's an Easter egg in the Wolverine trailer that points to Wolverine taking place in the same universe as Spider-Man. They've also teased multiple heroes in the Spider-Man universe. You know, they got the Avengers Tower right there. You got Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. You got the Wakandan Embassy. And then, of course, you got the Easter egg where he literally met Matt Murdock before. So they're setting it up. They're setting some stuff up. Will the Black Panther and Iron Man characters of the new game be from the Avengers? They're completely different games, completely different studios. They already confirmed that in both the press releases, the Iron Man game from Motive is a original Iron Man story built in Unreal Engine 5, and the Black Panther game is another original story. According to Jeff Grubb, you're going to play an original character, because this could change, but according to what he was told, and he was right about everything so far, he said that in this game, the previous Black Panther is dead. Sounds like that would be T'Challa. And you're going to basically create your own Black Panther and be them as the new king of Wakanda. So both of them completely original games, original stories. I'll tell you this definitively. Marvel's Avengers is completely gone. No one will ever touch that again. There is no games currently planned in any way, shape, or form to be connected to Marvel's Avengers. That is a dead game in a dead universe. Everyone is trying to avoid that game as much as possible. It's completely out of there. There's no sequel. There's no hope for a sequel. No other studio is looking to revive it. No other studio is looking to connect to it. As far as the industry is concerned, that game doesn't exist. Except as a warning of what not to do. Did I see the leaks for Wolverine? I did. Iron Fist would be sick. Yep, Iron Fist. And Jessica Jones is in the Spider-Man verse as well. Did I hear about the Captain America and Black Panther game? Yeah, we covered that. What, that last year that came out? That trailer came out? Yeah, we covered that a bunch, like a year ago. Cross your fingers for Ubisoft to reveal their Marvel game. Facts. No, this is a kind of random, but you think it would be cool if we got a Punisher, a first-person shooter? It'll be fine. I prefer a third, but you know. The game got Thanos snap. Very much so. Damn you, Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics. What's going on with the strike? So for now, it's Deadpool 3 looks like it's getting delayed because of the strike. Broadway is not affected. There are different Comic-Con panels are canceled or getting reworked, but the Spider-Man 2 panel is still happening, and Simon is going to live tweet it. But Tony Todd, who was supposed to be there, he's the voice of Venom. He's not going to be at the panel now because of the strike. Yuri Lowenthal tweeted that even though he supports the strike, he's still going to go to the panels. For now, that could change. Contractually, he's allowed to go, so he's going to go. But he might get pressure from the other striking guild members to not cross the picket line and just skip Comic-Con altogether. But for now, Yuri's going. Tony Todd is not going. And we don't have confirmation from Laura Bailey or Notch Jeter yet. You feel bad for Avengers, but they downplayed a lot of it. Sucks, but it is what it is. Yep, I did a video breaking down all the villains that they showed in the gameplay trailer. Shocker was one of them. They basically showed the full Sinister Six, as well as Taskmaster, Lizard, Black Cat, Prowler. The technical last chance for Ubisoft this year to announce a Marvel game would be the Game Awards. That would be the technical last chance, because that's like the end of the year. No, Spider-Man 2, the actual game is not getting delayed. They already launched the pre-orders. That game is coming out no matter what now. That's pretty shocking. Shocker! That's the one thing they need to reference. If they do that, I'm good. So, yeah, the actors are allowed to do commercials, and so far, the video game, at least in terms of Comic-Con, Nuri said the video games are safe for now. They're allowed, but there are still actors that are protesting in solidarity. So that's going to be the other thing. You're going to have actors who can't go to like a Comic-Con because of the strike, but then you're going to have actors who are technically allowed to go that aren't going to go to be in solidarity. And then there are also actors who aren't going to go because they're going to be pressured to not go in order to be in solidarity. Because you're already seeing this online, where they're considering Comic-Con to be like crossing the picket line if you go. And this is only the first day. So if that pressure keeps going, we could see more actors pull out, because Tony Todd is already out. He's not going to be on the Spider-Man 2 panel. Appreciate you, Cookie. Get back here. Get back here, Shocker. I mean, it's definitely possible it's canceled, because Ubisoft did cancel a few projects. Early, I think last year, they canceled a few unannounced projects, but we'll see. All right, I'm gonna bounce out of here. I appreciate everyone hanging out. We'll be doing the Spider-Man Remastered DLC stream tomorrow, and I think I could make a new video to just kind of summarize the Comic-Con stuff. And the after show podcast, we might not do it tonight. Jay is on vacation, and I want him to relax. I'm waiting for confirmation from Casual Avenger. If Casual Avenger is there, then we'll rock out with the podcast, and Jay might join us. Otherwise, we'll pick up when Jay comes back, especially with a special celebrity guest. Definitely go follow that second channel, !podcast in the chat. That's on the second channel, the After Show Podcast. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate the super chats. I'm Sadot the Gamer, signing out.